Hi, I'm Danielle Dietrich. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the SBA's HUBZone program. What is it? Who qualifies? How do you get it? So the HUBZone Small Business Concern is something that stands for Historically Underutilized Business Zone, and it's a program administered by the SBA to help small businesses that are in historically economically distressed areas gain access to federal contracting preferences. And so to be certified as a HUBZone SBC, you must be at least 51% owned and controlled by U.S. citizens or certain entities such as Alaska Native corporations, Indian tribal governments, community development corporations, small agricultural co-ops, or Native Hawaiian organizations. One thing to note for this versus maybe the 8A program or WASB or DBE, that there is no ethnic or national origin background required. There's no presumption of socially and economically disadvantaged you have to worry about. This just has to be U.S. citizens or one of those entities that qualify. Your business has to qualify as small under the SBA, and down below I will link to the SBA's table for that you can search by your NAICS code, and you can look for that. It's based on revenue or number of employees depending on the code. Your principal office must be located in the hub zone. Now, the hub zone, this is the area officially designated by the SBA based on criteria such as poverty, unemployment, and population loss. And you can find out if your location is located in a hub zone by using the SBA's online map tool. And I'm going to link to that down below. Now, at least 35% of your employees must live in the hub zone. They must have their primary residence there at the time of the application and during the performance of any HUBZone contracts. So you can't just hire a bunch of workers on a temporary basis that live in the HUBZone and then get rid of them all after you get the application, after the application's filed and you're qualified. No, they have to. You have to have at least 35% of employees living in the HUBZone for the lifetime of the HUBZone contract. So something to keep in mind there. Um, Subcontracting, you have to comply with, there's some limitations in subcontracting that apply to your type of contract and industry, which generally means you as the HUBZone business must perform a certain percentage of work yourself or with other HUBZone SBCs or similarly situated entities. So on these contracts, you have to do a certain amount of the work. You can't just be brought in for the name and say, hey, I've got this HUBZone company working with me. You actually have to do some work. And also, you've got to be on good behavior. Your company and any of your owners must not be suspended or debarred from federal contracting at the time of your application or during your participation in the program. So keep it clean, don't do anything bad, and so you can stay in. So if you meet these requirements, you can apply for the SBA through the HUBZone online application. It involves providing a lot of information, a lot of supporting documentation. And the goal for the SBA is to review your decision within 90 days. But I hear a lot of folks complain that the SBA is very backed up and it's taking a long time to get through these. So be aware of that. You can't plan on having the certification by any given point in time. So if approved, you're going to be designated as a certified HUBZone SBC in the SBA's dynamic small business search database, which is used by federal agencies and prime contractors to find potential HUBZone vendors. You do have to recertify your company every year, representing to the SBA that you still meet all the criteria, and they may do some checking in on you to make sure that you still comply. So what are the benefits? There are set-aside contracts that federal agencies can do to be exclusively for HUBZone SBCs if they expect at least 2 qualified HUBZone SBCs to submit offers. And the contract can be awarded at a fair and reasonable price, of course. They can also award contracts to a single HUBZone SBC without competition, otherwise known as a sole source contract, if the contract value is below certain thresholds and the agency determines that you are responsible and capable of performing the contract. You are also able to benefit from certain price evaluation preferences, where federal agencies can give a 10% price evaluation preference to HUBZone SBCs when they compete for full and open contracts, which means that the agency can add 10% to the price of non-HUBZone offers, when comparing them to HUBZone offers. Now, again, you have to make sure that you comply with all of the requirements and continue to comply. Because if you knowingly misrepresent your HUBZone status or eligibility, you can face liability under the False Claims Act, and it's really be a lot of trouble for you. So please don't do that. If you do, please call me or other legal counsel as soon as possible to try to help you navigate that. So I hope this was helpful. Learn a little bit about yet another government program out there to help small businesses, and I'll see you in the next blog.